Oh, barrel vision. Barrel vision.
Thing is, you're laughing, but it's not a joke because they never heard the funny part,
Oh yeah.
and they won't get it because they're
Yeah.
not a
We
British child raised.
We
in
recorded
the
hours of
2000s.
footage, hours of quality footage before this.
Yeah,
It's
hours
all
of the
lost.
best podcast you could ever hear,
Mm.
and due to a slight hiccup, it was all removed from ever.
Anyway, this is Barrel Vision, your number one pit stop, your number one pod stop for all Deep Galactic related news and discussion and news as well.
Yeah.
And news.
Yeah,
in fact.
basically,
We did news as well. And the weather forecast.
Not like worldwide news or worldwide forecasts, just mainly Hoxie's related world news and
Yeah.
forecasts.
We can forecast a light showering of robot
Shitstorm.
combatants on the 28th of
Uh-huh.
April 2022.
That was smooth.
I know! And now it
Yeah.
will crumble from here on out. So, because that brings us to our first item, first piece, first chunk,
Topic at hand.
first ore vein to mine out. It's the release date. We'll start with the release date. We can talk about where it came from afterwards. The release date for Season 2, Rival Escalation, the 28th of April, or at least it will be for Steam users. Not us.
Yes.
Not us console
We
peasants. We play on
will
console.
not
Let's get it out of
be
the way.
able to make any new videos on the stuff for at least a couple weeks.
Sorry. I know.
Yeah.
I know everyone was like on the edge of their seat. When's Barrel going to make a video about the new content in Deep Rock Galactic? I'm not going to, and I wasn't going to.
Yeah.
So
Currently, the only content you can expect is podcasts.
and my documentary.
And yeah, more on that later.
We'll get to that. That's
First
important
things
news.
first.
That's on everyone's mind. So the original release window that they gave when they first announced Season 2 was March/April. That's a whole 2-month release window, and they're technically keeping to it, I guess, because all that matters is the initial release date. It's still the release date, and personally, it's kind of a good thing because it means they can iron out more bugs before it gets to us.
Yeah, we do get a more solid experience, and I feel like buggy messes on consoles are like worse than PC for some reason. Like normally, like if your game's messed up on console, it will like just turn the console off. But on like PC, it will just crash.
I mean, I can't remember the last time my Xbox just turned off because of a game. Like my console hasn't crashed in a very long time. This one hasn't. My Series X.
That's because you only play the same couple games.
Yeah, but Skyrim's quite volatile.
I suppose, but only because you mod it so.
Spider with my PC when I boot up Skyrim with 600 sex mods. I love that. It's got like it's just someone in a burning building just running. It's brilliant. So 28th of April is pretty much right at the end of April. I mean, if it was February, that would be right at the end. But
I was about to say it's in 2 days. I completely forgot what month it was. I just saw the 26th.
yeah,
so
in 2 days it will be a
oh.
month from then, which is actually only like either 5 or 6 days before Halo Infinite Season 2.
Which I assume all of Zero people are looking forward to.
No,
Yeah?
I think the 2,000 people
the-
that still play it are looking forward to it.
I probably not.
No, probably not.
Yeah, there's still no Forge or co-op campaign, is there?
No. No.
Oh dear.
I think Forge will make some waves, but we're not here to talk about Halo. We're not here to talk about that.
Or Skyrim mods, sex mods.
Oh well,
or...
we could. If someone
We
puts
can have a
out,
very long discussion about Skyrim sex
if someone
mods.
puts out any, I haven't seen any Deep Rock Galactic mods for Skyrim. And when are we going to get a Skyrim hat? When are we going to get the standard Iron Helmet, the Dovahkiin hat? When are we going to get that in Deep Rock? Hey, we need that, right?
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be one of the ones like they did for the Viking helmet that they're going to add as like bait, basically, to make people do what they want because people know they want it added to the game. And the
Right.
Viking helmet doesn't even work that well with most things. It's not that good of a hat. I mean, it can, but you kind of are left with quite a bland-looking character with a Viking helmet.
I think it works with most. It doesn't correspond colour scheme wise, but I find it quite easy to make fit. It works well with Scale Brigade and Roughneck. I've found Roughneck armour.
I suppose, like look-wise, but like colour-wise, it's got the same issue as like the Ghost Ship Games helmet, where instead of white, they went for like a.
It's just slightly off. But I still think
beige?
I've got a driller with Megacorp Scale Brigade, and it works quite well with him. And I think part of that is also the frost component, where he's like a ice cold Viking warrior. I don't know. Even though the Vikings didn't have horns, and it even says that on the helmet, the description for that helmet. It says something about historical inaccuracy, so I find quite fun. So, I mean, I don't really know what we can actually say about the release date. It's not that interesting, you know.
All it looks like is that they're removing Driller. He's no longer going to be a part of the game.
He's turned into
a giant red light.
So yeah, the release date, it wasn't an official reveal. It was stored inside an image, a teaser image that they showed on stream on Thursday.
Thursday.
Looking
at it now, and I didn't even notice. Like
on Saturday, 26th of March, there's this teaser image, which is basically the full version of an image they showed a couple weeks ago during the anniversary thing.
Yeah, like this.
That's when they first revealed the season 2's title. And it just showed Scout and a big red light. But it's the full version of the image, and like hidden within the ice are numbers. There's a 4, there's a 22, there's a 28. Because I'm a dumbass, when I first looked at this, I thought, oh, the 22nd of April, but what's the 28 doing there? I have no idea. Oh dear.
Nice. It's the 28th of the 22nd month in 2004. We're going back in time, baby. And creating new months. In fact, point is, they tried hiding it for some reason. I guess just for a little bit of York, a little bit of Danish York. They are Danish, right?
Sure.
Denmark.
Denmarkish.
Is that what Denmark people?
Yes, it is. Denmark people are Danish.
Why did that sound like an insult?
Because I said Denmark people are Danish.
That'll do it. That would do it. But
I'd like to apologise for any background noises like this. I'm incapable of sitting still.
Harry is the biggest fucking fidget bum in the world. Fiddling, dropping, playing. But it shows, the only 3 characters that seem to matter according to them, using their secondaries, the railgun, the crossbow, and engineers one that we have yet to talk about, being Harry. Please remind me.
That's not what it's called.
It should be.
It's called the Shard Diffractor. Doesn't really have a proper name, does it? But I guess it's a name where. The grenade launcher is called the Deep Core PGL, but it's the grenade launcher. Yeah. This is just going to be the diffractor, I guess.
The laser.
The laser. I'm going to call it the diffractor because...
The beam cannon.
The cream bannon.
The beamer.
The creamer.
Sure.
So this is quite... I don't know if it mirrors. It's just the same general idea, I suppose, with the last piece of key art that they used for season 1, which it shows all the dwarves using their new bits of equipment, except Driller, because Driller's not in it for some reason. You don't know why. I don't know if there's a specific reason, but it would
Do
feel.
you think
there
there
must
is
be.
anything for it?
There must be a reason, right?
They've never done it before, have they? They always have all the dwarves doing something, like just dicking around.
Well, I have an idea. It relates to what was shown or heard in the clip, but we'll keep talking about the image for now. So it's just
I mean, there's not much more to say
scout,
other than
gunner using their new weapons in the glacial
flexing.
strata, firing into the mist against a huge silhouetted mechanical behemoth. It would seem.
Being. Yeah.
With a massive red light coming out of it. Obviously, a result of the rival corporation getting a bit antsy. I don't know what this is exactly.
Alluding to the escalation, some could say.
And they have confirmed that this isn't just like a free-flying caretaker. Because I sort of thought, oh, it could just be a caretaker.
It does
that's just
have
flying
that
around
shape.
and has like one.
You do
and it
see a
uses
bit
the,
of like a
limbs.
diamond shape.
The tentacles just
Yeah.
as arms, but they've said it's not, or not directly, but they implied that it's not, which is a good thing.
Well, in all fairness, the prospector, things and the data deposits are basically the same model, so it could be a bit like that. Like they use a chunk of the caretaker to
the caretaker
like,
could be
move.
could be the pilot. Oh my god, that's terrifying. Because that arm, that's not. It's similar, but it's not one of the normal caretaker limbs. I don't think either.
Yeah.
It's a really good image, though. I love that a lot. I like this. It's very nice.
But yeah, that was the release date image showed the guns, not Triller for some reason. But then there was another bit
Hold
of
on. Okay, actually, no. I've got another point, but it'll actually be better used after you talked about the other teaser.
yeah, which without a doubt is actually legitimately creepy. Like the game is known to step into the territory. If you're afraid of like spiders or ants, you would be pretty freaked out most of the time. But the distortedness and like croakiness of the voice when it's clearly not human, that taps into like the horror that's been going around recently with like the skinwalkers and like the giant what's the things, the like siren heads. Like that's basically what like this sounds like.
Oh god. You haven't explained very well exactly what we're talking about. It's just the second teaser that they showed this week. It was after the live dev stream on Friday. That's yesterday. That's the day of recording. Which once again, Saturday the 26th.
Well, as long as I'm not lazy, it should come out the same day. Today.
The clip shows just a scout walking through a cave. But in the distance you can hear these voices. These distorted robotic voices. That sounds like a dwarf. Specifically, a dwarf who is down. I don't know if you noticed this.
I did, but there was also... it wasn't just that. There was down voice lines, but I'm pretty sure there was... I don't know, but I think it sounded like over here, which I'm not sure if they say when they're down, but that's also what they say when they ping something.
So I originally had the idea, I liked the idea of actual robotic dwarves that the rival corporation made to just because it would be logical in a way, or depending on how the rivals actually operate, it would be logical in a way to just completely replicate the enemy if they can, because that would be the best counter, surely, if they can match them exactly just by copying them and then use reinforcements to gain the advantage.
They're also using the fact that they know that they leave no dwarf behind.
Because I think it's not actually a robot dwarf. I think it's just a decoy. Something using dwarf voices to lure them in.
It is something that is purely built to kill dwarves and like bait them in and kill them, and like or at least deal with them. I assume kill them. They don't seem against murder.
No, they're definitely not.
Caretakers dropped me multiple times without giving a single shit, so no.
They are robots. They are robots. No empathy.
But this is purely speculation, but I mean, it's probably a event. That doesn't sound right. Seasonal event. That makes more sense.
Yeah, probably.
But it doesn't feel like it's going to be a kind of data cell season event. I think it's going to be more like a Betsy, but seasonal one where it's just a mini boss that's going to kick your ass unless you kick its ass first,
Sorry,
or like a core lock.
One of my nails. I didn't think it would make a sound.
You are insatiable.
Yeah, I'm gonna start eating my own fingers soon.
Ill-advised.
You would have to be ill to do that.
I mean, as far as we can tell, they look mechish. I think 'cause some people have like I don't know how you actually do it, but you like make it less dark.
Increase the gamma.
It
zoomed in.
Yeah.
Oh, I would hope they would enhance. You said it was something like the spider tanks from Borderlands.
Yeah.
Which if that's true, I love that because I always envisioned from the beginning when we first saw these rival tech fellows. I wanted a spider tank, just a big walking tank, because none of them walk either. None of the rival.
Yeah, everything is either stationary or flies.
Yeah, but what would be the benefits of a walker tank, really?
Well, the benefits is that it would look badass.
Yeah, and it's worth it because not much in Deep Rock really makes sense. So, just if it's cool,
and plus,
you can do it, it's fine.
So far, the two things they've tried or have doesn't work very well. People have been dismantling both the stationary and flying. So maybe they were like, all right, what haven't we done? Giant walking tanks. It's gonna work. And then let's make them really creepy and probably kick ass and have 3 eyes by the looks of it as well. It had like 3 little glowing bits.
Probably a turret on top. Just walks around.
Probably.
Shooting you.
I mean, there is a thing, that it's probably going to look very different to Betsy, obviously, but it would have to move and act and attack quite different, like different, to not kind of feel like another Betsy.
If the rival corporation want to follow in the footsteps of DRG in the effectiveness of killing their own employees, they would replicate Betsy. And omens, because they work. They kill more dwarves than the bugs do, and than the rival corporation do. Let's just copy the omens. Yeah. Rival take omen. Oh god, don't even. What the fuck would that even be? That sounds horrible.
Well, yeah. I mean, thing is, last one there was 2 seasonal events and a game mode, right? And this one so far, we have this. Basically, this is the only thing we know that they're adding. Obviously, we're going to get more, but like this is one event, right? And they alluded, and by alluded I mean specifically said they would be working on like a hazard, not hazard.
Warning.
Like difficulty.
Warning.
Which this probably isn't. It might be.
Yeah.
It might be part of like a warning that is like rival invasion, where the cave is full of rival enemies.
But I don't think it's
going
to be that simple though. That seems too simple.
No.
For the main.
It might not. So I feel like this is probably going to be another one of the events that you'll just bump into in caves and really not want to do after like the 27th millionth time, but kind of have to by the looks of this. But you could assume that there's probably going to be more than just this guy, but he's clearly the main show. Like, assuming that actually this guy is the giant one in the picture.
Well, it's not. It can't be though, right? We would have seen more. It would have been hard to hide it, But then again, you gave me this idea when we talked about Driller not being in the picture. Is it because they went towards this thing thinking it was a driller calling out for help. Is that the implication?
Maybe.
Possibly.
Well, they clearly, realised their mistake as they're gunning him down. Either that or they really hate Driller, which is reasonable. But I don't know. Yeah,
But
it's interesting.
In that same vein, I had a discussion point that I wasn't going to use just yet, but I think we should. As it's written, it says, "Do we think the season 2 plans have changed?" But I need to elaborate on that a little bit, because that's mainly in reference to the mission mutator, the warning that they said would be the main sort of.
Yeah.
Season 1 had the new
there was
mission
3
type,
things.
Season 2's got this new mutator. But all of what we've seen so far is sort of makes me struggle to put together what the mutator is actually going to be. Because in that picture we have this massive silhouetted boss, you would assume, boss enemy. But I don't see how a boss enemy would fit well into a mutator. I could see how it would fit well into a spontaneous event. Sometimes you get a dreadnought spawn. But I'm not really sure how any of what we've seen fits into a warning being the main piece of content and representing, being the vessel for the idea of the season, the rival escalation.
I know this isn't entirely relevant, but you mentioning that's giving me the idea that they might now add rival tech waves into the game. Instead of how normally there's variants of waves. There's it's swarmers or it's Praetorians. Now it might be we noticed a bunch of rival tech heading in your direction. They could add that now. I think that would be possible because they're going to be going on the offense more.
Unless they do something crazy and the mutator is, because there's clearly new rival tech enemies, so it's no surprise. But there could be quite a few, and if they want, I would be surprised. I would be surprised, but it would be cool if the mutator was just the only enemies you encounter during this mission are going to be rival tech enemies.
That is, I thought that might be the case. And as much as that would kind of feel bad, there is also a very large pool of rival tech enemies, right? It is very diverse.
Yeah, there's quite a few already,
The issue is that as far as moving one goes, you have the patrol bot, shredders, and that's about it. Yeah, so it would have to be more that each room you walk into is rigged to the teeth with sniper turrets in the ceiling, repulsors and turrets on the floor. Each room will be teched up pretty hard, and the waves they would have to add more mobile enemies to actually warrant having waves. Because you can't just have a bunch of patrol bots and shredders. That's not. Compared to the variety of enemies from Glyphids, it would just not be worth the trade, basically.
Yeah, I think I'm not really worried about that. I'm interested to see what they do with it, but I can't really see how whatever this big fella is, I just don't see how it's going to fit in. Obviously it will be present in the game somehow, but warning doesn't make much sense to me. So I had this quite outlandish idea, I would say. I think it's very unlikely. That there would be another sort of mission type, kind of, that would involve this thing, but you could only do after doing a certain number of missions with that warning on it. It was a little bit too much, but it was born from me just not seeing how you can't just whatever this thing is, you can't just prop it in a normal mission. At least in my head, that just doesn't seem like it would work. But
as much as, but it's not. It's not a new game mode.
Unless it's a change
Never in
to
a million
industrial
years.
sabotage. But,
yeah, but you know how much they clearly liked industrial sabotage, right? The fact that they were okay, this blew up to be something way bigger than we thought it wasn't inherently that it had to just grow. It was probably more that they just kept coming up with ideas they loved, and they just kept adding it, and it just kept bigger and better, and they probably love it. It's probably their favourite game mode, maybe, I don't know.
I think when they they talked about how the scope of it just kept growing and growing. I think that's actually just the rival tech whole idea coming up.
Probably, yeah.
The actual
In fact,
mission
that was
didn't change
probably.
that much.
I mean, bearing in mind that their whole big break wasn't just for the biggest season or biggest update, it was also like they're planning ahead. This was likely planned, right? Obviously, there were things that they obviously didn't plan, like what they actually were going to do with the seasonal stuff once the season ends. They mentioned multiple times that they had no real idea what they were doing there. But as far as like narrative / gameplay narrative with like the robots, this was probably well within their plan. And so I don't think they're going to be like trying to change stuff that they added. I think they added it with the intent of, it doesn't need to be changed, right? Like, industrial sabotage is industrial sabotage. This guy is not really going to affect that, I don't think. They probably had this guy in mind when they made industrial sabotage.
Yes.
So I think honestly, it was probably just going to be a like bloke that just appears like a prospector or a data deposit cell. It might have something to do and might have an increased chance of spawning with like a modifier, but I think it's way more. It fits the role of like a Betsy basically, but.
All of this just makes me more interested because I'm struggling to figure out where what they showed us is actually going to fit in. Just makes me more interested to see what the actual answer is to my questions.
Yeah, well, we'll probably get more before it's even released because they like to basically have everything out on the table when they actually release it for people. And don't they have like a beta out for a little while before as well?
See that the main patch notes will be out like a couple of weeks before the main release date.
So it's probably only like a week or two before people can just start playing it in like the
I'd say 2 weeks
stuff, right?
at least, because I think the experimental branch usually runs for about 2 weeks prior to the release date. So
yeah,
at least 2 weeks from now. I think.
So yeah, they're gonna be
we'll know a lot.
In these next 2 weeks. They're gonna be probably dropping the actual enemy if there's other enemies, and like the modifier before the actual beta gets dropped. And once the beta's dropped, they're just gonna show everything because everything's gonna be leaked, basically.
I mean, thank God though they can't show like the entire performance pass.
Yeah, although it will obviously be released, the second the stuff is.
Also, it was interesting to
actually
know
maybe it would
that when we got the initial roadmap, that sort of was it even a roadmap? I can't remember where we got the initial outline for season 2, but I remember taking note of the fact that it said a brand new performance pass, but the cosmetic tree was exempt from that. Not that it has to be made like. Not they have to mention it separately, but maybe they do. Maybe there isn't a cosmetic tree this time. Maybe they didn't like it. I don't know. Because it also would mean that the performance pass would be much more dense.
No, Harry, I'm going to stop you there. You're wrong. Remember the anniversary event? I told you this was in the Q&A. They are actually doing the exact opposite of this. They are reducing the amount in the actual pass, and they are adding to the tree because they loved it so much. It's just basically it is the opposite, which because that means that there's going to be I don't know, because they're either going to have to they're going to have to change scripts basically. I mean, if it's still scripts, I assume it is.
I think the pass will be more densely populated with actual stuff, obviously, because there's less tiers. I think there's probably going to be almost no credits or minerals on the pass itself. It's just going to all be scripts.
Yeah.
In place of where that stuff.
Hopefully, scripts, cosmetic scripts, and and just have it be densely packed of shit that people actually care about.
Yeah.
And
they also need to stop making headgear.
Yeah,
there's a decent number. There's a fair number of like weapon skins and armor skins in the pass and the cosmetic tree, but they need more of that. I think
they need more beard color heads.
Armors.
They added a reasonable amount of armors into
armor paint
last
jobs,
season. There was
yeah.
like 3 armor paint jobs, which weren't amazing, but they also
Well, there
weren't
was
bad
also
either.
4 weapon skins.
Yeah, they're adding a
Nice.
reasonable fair amount. They're not doing bad. The
But
issue is
I don't
that
want
those
I
are
don't
like
need
the
more
only ones they
sideburns.
add.
I don't even really care about moustaches anymore. Beards, they could still come up with some crazy stuff for beards. Obviously.
Have they even added? They added what, the like messed up shave?
Yeah, there weren't even that many that interesting beards season 1, I think.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily want them to. I don't want them to get sillier with cosmetics, but I do want them to get more ambitious, I think. But maybe that's just because season 1 I'd say they probably actually dialed back the ambition.
I don't want them to be too
craziness.
ambitious until they've like done everything, right? Like, if I can get a beard of like every kind of variety and every kind of length, you know what I mean? Like, if I can get like a median length braided beard or something like that, and just like, so I can basically have something for everything I want to build. Like, if I want to have a scraggly looking medium sized beard, or like a really, like, I don't know, plump goatee or something like that, like. But also, I feel like those wouldn't be nice rewards to get in a pass. You know what I mean? Like, pass rewards have to be kind of fancy. You know what I mean? At least, especially they. I mean, they felt like it. Like, some of the stuff they added, like the moustache that was basically a Glyphid's teeth, and the like space helmet, and I mean, space helmet was like the final reward, so fair enough. But
yeah, but the final award needs to be, I think, something a little bit more out there.
yeah, you would also assume they're
hair
probably going
colours
to add
and skin
another.
colours. They because
Yeah.
I said maybe they dialed it back, but I don't think they dialed it back. But they didn't go all the way in certain aspects. But also, beard colours is something they haven't touched in a while. So the addition of just one is sort of just to gauge. I'm not sure. Gauge whether people want them or not, but they shouldn't have to. Everyone wants more beard colours. They don't need
skin
to
color
question
wise.
it.
Have we got anything in like the last
No.
3 years?
Because just add like a silver skin colour, I want silver. They
Yeah.
got gold. I want silver. Red. Skin colours less so. Beard colours, yes. Skin colours aren't as important. I think they covered most ground really. Because the only way you can go from here is like really crazy nonsense. Like all shiny
Yeah, and
skins.
that's the kind of thing that it would, like, if you wanted to add that during a pass or like the tree, it would just block. It would just fill things up. You know what I mean? Like every hue of color in like the pass, you don't need that.
I just
And,
realised
like,
I kind of want weapon charms in Deep Rock.
it wouldn't be a bad shout, but I don't know.
Yeah,
It would obviously. It would definitely fit in. I could easily see a little, when you're customizing the gun, there's a little bit in the corner with charms in. But I don't know.
Then again, I think framework sort of overtakes that, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like a charms. If they added charms, that's probably going to become a sinkhole, right? Like they're like, we need to add new things. Let's just make charms, that kind of thing.
Yeah, because
like,
we've got a new cosmetic type in quite some time. Or at least maybe I'm completely forgetting something.
for what?
Just in general. A new slot, a new type of customization.
No, I mean,
I think the last thing might
Yeah.
actually be pickaxes. That was a while ago.
there's not much else to customize. I mean, yeah, well, that's what I mentioned, right? I mean, not on it here or anything, but there needs to be like name customizations and like title customizations, and like, so when you join the game, you're like murderer of the
People
Crassiers.
seem to like the idea of badges and stuff.
Yeah,
Badges that you can
the
put on
kind
your
of
armour
thing.
even. I want that. I want badges on my armour.
I don't want that. No one's gonna fucking see that. It doesn't matter. It needs to
A
be
badge
next
that
to your
would be
name.
of-
It needs, I suppose, but like, it's a waste of their time adding it to the armor, because it'll probably just glitch out or some shit. But Yeah, it is just something that when you join the game, instead of just having these red stars that everyone has, because it's not hard to get at this point as long as you play the game, and more people are getting it, you can have something that actually speaks more to how you play the game.
More tied to milestones, though. I think they could add in a bunch of silly ones. You know, Doom Eternal's got a lot of silly ones and a lot of. It basically has you have milestones where you can unlock titles, but also there's just like silly ones that are unlocked through events.
Yeah, sure. Do both.
To start with the
thing is, what it comes down to is that it is literally going to be text, right?
Yeah.
They could add so many of them with so minimal effort, and yet we add so much more customization. Like with you know, as it is, you get joined by Fat Nuts McGee, and he is like a driller that is like bronze 2, and that's like it. Mm-hmm. That's all you get. It is player levels like 37, like. That is the most your character can really say in just that bit up there.
How do you feel about auras? Like you could get like a fire like on your head or something, or you're like you're on fire,
feel
like a rainbow trail, that kind of
I
stuff.
feel like that will really visually clutter an already visually cluttering game, with like in fights basically. Like you're trying to defend the thing in like salvage ops. And I mean, there's already like a driller, and there's some guys running around with a fucking fiery head, and another one's got like black mist trailing him that's covering up all the glyphids. I mean, it's not bad, but it's also, I mean, this game's already pretty, you know, full of graphics and particles and stuff as is.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we'll leave that for now. No more cosmetic discussion. Tyler's getting heated.
Because there needs to be titles and maybe some headgears based on it.
Well,
like the Crassius headgear. If you kill 1,000 Crassiuses, you get a Crassius head. Or Torian head, or something like that. Yeah, just fun things that, you know, people could just be like, yeah, look what I've done. You can't do that. You can't. There nothing you can like visually do. Is all you can really do is say, yeah, I played during anniversary or Halloween, or I'm this level and have unlocked this armor. That's all your armor can say. You don't actually have any personality that you can actually put anywhere.
Yeah, I'm getting kind of worried that they're trying to make too many cosmetics, and I think they should just make some really good ones instead, or some more interesting ideas. Like I want to strap a glyphid skull to my shoulder, but the systems you have to put in place to be able to do that, and possibly do that in different ways. It's like, what cosmetic slot would that take up? Would that be a whole armor to itself? Would that be another thing, like armor attachments?
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, what? But it's just, I feel like that's the kind of stuff that I want. More personality.
Yeah, I mean, it would be, yeah, more like variables.
That's the only point to customization. Customization is such a huge part of the game. It's like it almost becomes the main progression. It's just unlocking, customizing your dwarf.
It is
creating individuality, but actual personality is sort of hard to nail down.
Yeah, and there's also like, I mean, obviously there's quite a lot of customization as is, but there's only so many good ones. And ones that they clearly want you to get more, that are like cost more and bigger and better. Like, how many people do you see with the giant fat fucking beard with like the 3 dreads in the middle that are like gold and plated? Like, that's like the most common beard, right? Because it's like the biggest, best, and it's like super expensive. And like every other fucking pleb runs that, and it's like the same kind of headgears. The same stuff gets worn by like everyone because they're the only good-looking things. Like the amount of people that use the black, what is it? It's like the DLC stuff that makes you a future tech, not future
Dark
tech.
Future.
That's the new one. Dark Future. I mean, literally, when we like we're playing like early on, all you would wear is that, right? All you were dripped out in all the time was Dark Future, because it was like the only good-looking thing in the game. And now there's a couple other things, but still, a lot of people would just put on Dark Future because it's just black, job done, shiny, nice. But yeah, there's just no like cool things like there's no black ones with like a Punisher skull in the front of it or anything like that. Like the only patterns you get are like the stupid cheese ones for Driller. Not to mention weird and dumb ones, like how with like the new helmet they added, most of the characters have like their colour on their helmet, like yellow for Driller, red for Engineer, blue for Scout, and then Gunner has nothing. He has black for some reason. He doesn't get green, and it's really annoying.
I think that's quite deliberate though, and I kind of like that in a way, or at least I've grown used to it. I think it feels more Gunner-esque, to be honest. He doesn't have bright green accents. He's just
I think that's because Gunner's boring as hell. Like customization wise, he gets like the most default looking things. Like all of his like color schemes are like the most bland ones, right?
Yeah, they're sort of meant
like
to be like
flat
military
colors,
spec, basically. Military specification. Quite. I don't know. It's meant to be like that. That's fine. I like Gunner's stuff, to be honest.
Yeah, but would you also prefer to be able to pick more fun ones and maybe have some more military ones for the other characters as well?
Oh, well, I'd like the options to be there, but like, I've been going on about this, but I don't want my dwarves to look silly. I hate silly looking things, silly looking characters.
Yeah,
I mean they kind of look
stupid
silly
fucking
by
Scout.
default, but you build off of that. You know, it's sort of the caveat. It's like they're quite goofy dwarven men, but I basically do all within my power to make them look like tanks, and I usually get across. My gunner, one of my gunners, definitely looks like a machine, a beast.
Well, yeah, I mean, I say that, but I do also find Gunners, like, customization wise, I have a couple for some characters that I really like the look of, but every single character I built with Gunner, I love the look of. Like, the one with the fucking, pumpkin head, and, like, the like, golden green, and, like...
Gunner's armours are just the best. The Mark
They
II,
are.
the Mark III, the Scale Brigade... The Mark IV, you're just a brick.
I mean, yeah.
Just a house. Awesome.
His Roughneck's a bit weird.
His Roughneck's sort of still like in that military lane. He's sort of like a lighter military unit. Like pouches and stuff on him. People like that. I like that. It's cool. He's got the sleeve. Gunner's the best, man. Guess you haven't noticed. We like Gunner. Gunner's sort of like this through line, this subtext that runs beneath us. It's just like we all just love Gunner. We love playing as Gunner.
Well, that is because Gunner is the best character.
Best class.
Oh.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. He is.
It's kind of hard to deny, really.
I mean, say what you will about your favourite, right? And you can have your favourites. My favourite is Driller, because the drills are the best mobility.
Gunner is my favourite.
That is also my opinion. But, sure. But even then, you mained Engineer.
Yeah. Gunner's still my favourite.
But, yeah. It was just, yeah. It's just, when it comes down to it, Gunner basically performs at, like, Apex level, and is fun as hell while doing it.
Apex.
Except his mobility. His mobility can suck a fat one. I hate it. Stupid zip lines. Go die in a rat hole, you rat zip line.
Yeah, but I think if Gunner had a really good traversal tool, he'd be.
Well, because it's not even like the zip lines are bad. Well, that they are, but it's mainly the issue that once you reach the end, the chance of you dying is so fucking common most of the time. Because it's so awkward to, like, get off it most of the time. Like, you're trying to use it to, like, go up somewhere, and you end up just, like, you can't grab something while on the zip line. You have to, like, jump off, grab the thing, jump back on. and you'll get caught on like ledges if you had it slightly below. It's just really annoying, and I don't like it. And Engineer's platform's not much better.
What?
No, I hate clambering. I hate clambering in this game. It's so annoying. It's just like, I can make this jump. I can make this jump. I just made this jump and I slipped off because of this stupid fucking slippery ass game. I can make this jump and it won't let me climb up.
Ignore the clambering. The platforms they're the best. Clapforms?
No, they're not.
Platforms are awesome. Shut up, idiot.
Drills are the best mobility.
Drills don't stop you from dying from fall damage.
They actually do, apparently.
What?
In the Drilling in the Name of drill video, there is somehow a method where if you drill into the floor while you're falling, you can like just not take fall damage for some reason.
I think it's actually to do with clambering.
Yeah, I think it
clambering
is.
on a ledge
but
cancels out your fall. So if you
so I
manage
think
to
you
drill
have
the
to drill
ground before
and
you hit
clamber
it.
in the instant.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, but platforms
So
are much
there
more
is-
obvious, and they create like places where people can jump down. You know, it's just shut up. Shut up.
Still, Scout doesn't need those platforms.
He does.
Driller will just drill his way
Platform
down.
needs platform. Scout needs them all the time.
Well, I guess, yeah, but not like falling.
Yeah, for falling.
He can grapple while falling.
Yeah, but often scouts like grapple up to somewhere and then ask for platforms to be put beneath them.
Yeah, but not like
Tom
if
does that
they're
a lot.
falling. Yeah, because that's normal. Point is, sure, platforms, but also fuck that noise. Drills are better. We'll have this discussion, maybe.
We've already had it.
Yeah.
You mean
but maybe
in
we'll
full
do
force?
a video. Yeah,
Whoa.
we each have to write like an actual like speech as to why our mobility tools are the best.
Yeah, but I kind of think the drills are the best.
That's because I'm right.
You don't have. I'm not. It's not about you being right.
It is about me being right. The drills are the best.
It's not about you, but what you're saying is correct. But it doesn't. The fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, and then Tom can do grappling hook, and then James can
James can
leave.
provide his thesis on the zip line.
Yeah, James can explain why he never uses the zip line.
James can explain why he only plays Deep Rock Galactic while high. Anyway, I'd say we should probably move on, but it's not like we've got much else to talk about. Apart from my university project.
Sure.
Not exactly Deep Rock news, but obviously what we've just been talking about for the last 20 minutes isn't news. This is a Deep Rock news / discussion.
We got derailed
podcast.
a couple of times
But
throughout
that's
this
fine.
thing.
That's why we do the news first.
Yeah, pretty much. And then you stay around for the hot take.
You stay around for our soothing voices and our flamboyant yet enthralling personalities.
I only knew what one of those
The
meant.
enchanting tones of my voice.
Couldn't think of a better word.
No.
Fair enough.
Yeah, my
Alright.
university project that somehow involves Deep Rock. I have to produce a short film, basically, for an assignment. I'm not sure how much personal detail I should give away.
Just
Whatever.
don't name addresses, pretty much. I think that all.
Caesar. Thousand Island. Oh, what's that other one?
Okay.
Honey and
What
mustard.
did you go on? Just talk about your
Talk about
stupid
salad
project.
dressings.
Stop talking about salad dressings.
I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to be producing
So
a short
should-
film about
Oh my god.
Deep Rock, basically. It's like a documentary. It's not really meant to be a nature documentary, but that's sort of part of the course, and it needs to be anchored to the course in some way. and it will be. But I'm basically talking about how terrible the corporation Deep Rock actually, or DRG actually is, the actual company in game, and how they take advantage of nature and unfairly claim Hoxies as their own territory. And I think it's going to be really good. And I'm probably part of the submission. You actually have to upload it to YouTube, and that's where it ends up. I think you're generally supposed to have it unlisted though, and you give the link in submission. But I'm just going to upload it to the channel. So
it's a good
you
shout.
guys look forward to that. All of our wonderful listeners out there.
If you are actually listening at this point,
Thank you.
just bravo. If you were, I assume it's probably going to be posted on YouTube and Spotify. And if you're watching this on Spotify, YouTube, because I don't know, yeah.
If you're spitting in
comment,
Spotify,
because my God, we want to talk to you. We want to thank you for your time.
By the way,
And-
Snish, if you want to come on the podcast, just hit me up. Oh my God.
Yeah, DMs are open. I was thinking we should probably get like an actual email address. So yeah, but that's probably talk for not on the air.
No, let's do
Which
it
is what
now.
you'd call
Let's
it.
do it now. Let's just go like.
Let's just go talk business
Talk
just at the end of the podcast.
So, how much money have we made so far?
So far, we have made a net negative of £300.
Oh.
200 on the Elgato, 250 quids on the mics.
Yeah. Also, tell us if these mics were worth it. I think they were.
Yes. I mean, since the other podcast was actually posted on Spotify, so you will be able to hear the quality of the mics that Harry. What was that sound?
That was me going.
Right, you sounded like Chris, and I got really scared then.
Speaking of Chris.
Yeah. Yes,
Speaking of Chris and
that is
Damien,
actually.
We don't have to talk about this, but there was a video yesterday.
Why not?
A stream.
Oh,
America's
stream,
first
yeah.
time. And you choose the most random thumbnails as well. Where'd that even come from? What even is that?
It's my home screen. It's my
That
wallpaper.
doesn't answer what it is.
It's Guts' Berserker armor
Sick.
from Berserk.
Sick.
Yeah.
Sick. When they
It
add
is,
Berserk armor
and-
to Deep Rock.
Bro, if they fucking did that, I would actually just cry.
Okay.
I'd break down and sob. Just. In fact, I do that anyway. Whenever I think of Berserk. But that's neither here nor there.
So don't do it now.
Point is, we reacquainted ourselves with some old American friends.
I'd just call them like long-term acquaintances.
That is a good way of putting
Although
it.
we're
Because
in
we were friends of
frequent
friends,
contact at the moment.
and then we lost the friend that they were friends of, so we
Now,
stopped
is this really a
talking.
discussion for on air?
Well, I feel like explaining it just, I don't know, because why not? It's a podcast, we talk, that's what you do. Point is,
They're American.
they're joining our parties again, and they want us to find a game to play. And the only game that we really could put a finger on that we actually play is Deep Rock, which resulted in
Damien
them getting
spending
it
40 quid on it for no reason.
and somehow not having the actual cosmetics that he should
He
have
didn't
gotten
download
with
them though, that's why. He didn't download them automatically.
Right. it. So he spent 40 quid when he could have gotten it for free, and didn't get the thing that actually he got for the 40 quid. Basically, he's not the sharpest shit in the toolbox, but him and
Not the
his
sharpest tool in
game
the
sharing
shitbox.
friend did play it as the stream showed, when it caught their like kind of first couple games. They skipped the tutorial, so it was basically all new to them.
This is better, I think.
And
Actually.
as far as I think I could tell, even though they did proceed to stop playing it pretty quickly,
No, he didn't. He wanted to keep going. He wanted to come back.
I suppose.
After he stopped. I said I wasn't going to. So I think he did.
yeah. But I think, yeah, I mean, it seems Damien definitely liked it.
Yeah,
I think Chris likes it as much as James probably does, in that everyone else is playing it, so he will.
Chris is a bit of a James.
He is, yeah. But those things mean absolutely nothing. But yeah, basically we've actually gotten some new people into the game, which is pretty cool. It's always nice to do that. I feel like that's what you should do with games that you're like at least semi-passionate about. Spreading it to someone else is basically your God-given right as a fan.
Yeah, not if you have COVID though. Don't spread that to other people. Keep safe.
Well, even then, you know,
wear your mask.
it's a
Wear
pretty.
protection.
It really shows your dedication to COVID if you spread it to everyone you know and love. I think that really gets the point across. But yeah, so I guess there might be more streams of him experiencing stuff, because obviously, you know, beginning of the game there is very little actually to do. Like, you know, you're forced to go through these quests and you can't really do anything else while you're doing them. Then eventually you'll unlock some new guns, and then eventually
first assignment might be slightly too long. It should be quite snappy. It should be like every mission.
It should be up until
new mission type, new biome. You just get through it all. So you don't even have to do elimination. You don't have to do elimination.
It should guide you through the missions and the places, and it should fill you with enough credits and materials for you to be able to get like the weapon, at least the next weapon that you would unlock.
Well, I don't know about that.
And it should end before then. Well, it should just like plump you up, so you're not like grinding the second you start playing the game, basically, which I think would be nice. But yeah, it is kind of really weird in how little that new people actually have. Like, why do you have to buy beer permits? Like, it's so weird. They're not. I mean, obviously the special beers kind of do impact the game, but it is weird that you'd have to unlock the other ones. And the fact that, yeah, like, so much of the game is like unavailable for like so long, the first 25 levels, and then the entire game is then immediately open the second you promote. Like, you unlock everything and you can do everything pretty much, as long as you've done the Hazard 5 and Industrial Sabotage assignments.
You just don't see
I suppose.
Although I'm pretty sure that at least when you're hosting, you're not supposed to find machine events during that first assignment. But we came across an omen on the second mission.
Yeah. Luckily, it was Haz 3, so we didn't get too destroyed. But
destroyed.
Yeah. I mean, we struggle with omens as is. So the people who's literally this is their second round game, mission, did not have a fun time against it.
It went alright, actually, I think.
Yeah, but they both went down, I think, in different points in it.
It is.
But yeah, so I mean, it was pretty cool playing with people playing for the first time. They liked how the way it looked, which is something that is at this point it's kind of numb, to be honest. And they kept saying how many enemies there were, and it was like Haz 3, so it was just it was kind of it was yeah, there's too many of them. It's like 2 Praetorians, a couple grunts, and
actually, there was quite a lot of Praetorians. There were multiple times where there was 3 Praetorians bundled together, and it was like, oh yeah.
There was a lot of Praetorians.
We did get Praetorian spawn as well.
But yeah, I mean the live stream is all on YouTube, which is why we live stream on YouTube. It just has the content there, which is nice. Don't expect you to watch all of it, but the first bit is the first person's first experience with the game.
I expect you to watch it all the way through.
It would be nice. Isn't it like a couple hours?
Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours. That sounds quite short.
Yeah.
But I think that is...
I mean, we didn't play that many games.
Well,
you played more with him.
A little bit.
After I'd gone.
I think we only did 1.
But yeah. This has been Barrel Visions. We've talked about the leaks, the announcements, our opinions on cosmetics.
Yeah,
Harry's
that's a great discussion.
school assignment.
Yes.
That will be a video posted on YouTube at some point soon.
Look forward to
Or
that.
not soon,
Sign
but
up to our
probably
Patreon,
soon.
you can get it early.
First, we just got to make a Patreon.
Apparently Patreons have got horrible websites to work with. It's like really painful and slow. It's not very intuitive.
Yeah, but I think it's basically like
life.
your only option if you want to actually earn money from fans. So
We could
I
do
don't know.
OnlyFans.
We could actually.
No, we couldn't.
Oh. But yeah, this was a pretty cool week
This
with Deep
has
Rock.
been Barrel Vision.
We look forward to more
We
spoilers
thank you
and
for your
stuff of
patronage
the
and
sorts.
wish you a very good evening
And a Merry
happy New Year
Christmas. Yeah. All right.
and happy
Stop
birthday
recording.
and happy Halloween.